aí galera, esse vai ser um vídeo um pouco diferente. Eu quero comentar sobre algumas das coisas legais que eu fazer aqui em Perth. Eu fui lá em Fremantle, fica meia hora de trem da cidade, e gravei algumas imagens dentro do submarino para exposição. Então segue aí mais um vídeo do intercâmbio para a Austrália, e o assunto desse vídeo é sobre o Oberon Class Submarino. O Oberon Class Submarino é uma autêntica embarcação da Guerra Fria que fica situada em Fremantle para quem quiser visitar. O submarino serve como memorial para todos de Fremantle que morreram durante a Segunda Guerra Mundial.
So the last place you want the submarine to be is on the surface. You need to get the submarine under. And the second thing is, if you put the snorkel up, that would also give you a position away. So if you got an awareness that that a vessel's looking for you, you would pull the snorkel down as well. And then you're up until now, I've been spending 2 days a week, Mondays and Fridays, and go down the submarine 3 times, that's 6 times a week. And I'm yakking all the time at people about the submarine, so I can get distracted, so it's to stop me from ending with a groove on top of my head. I'm warning you now that there are places where you can catch your head. Okay. I've got a seal with the landing pad, stand a certain amount of levelness. That would take about 8 or 10 people in that one. There's a bigger version of that would take about double that number, which may or may not be influenced. So back to this again. But I can show you here this pressure hole and also. Before I show you the pressure hole, we'll talk about what we've got right here. I said this is my last hurrah until I come back from England, and goodness knows, you know, I'm going to be away for a few weeks. So,
that'll be you when you come back.
You push that down. Once you're in that groove, then you've got a secondary seal around here that stops any drips. That's going to keep you pretty safe and dry. Before we go on through here, look at this. This television was actually part of the submarine. This was the junior and senior sailors mess we're in at the moment, so the cooks and people like that slept in this area. But if they're alongside a quay, if they could plug into a shore station and watch TV in here. If they're out at sea, they could, using the same TV, they could play stuff on using that box of kit down there.
Okay.
Right. In the north of Scotland, this is where Scotch shipbuilding were. I don't know if they still exist, to be honest. And Cockadoo Dockyard, well, I think that might be in Australia, that one. For a refit and weapons update. The weapons update was where the brass buttons on the sleeve of that fella means he's a petty officer or senior sailor in Australian parlance. Mm-hmm. Can you see the beer fridge round to the right? The right? This way? What? That's the beer fridge. It's been closed, so they were allowed a couple of stubbies of beer in a day, breakfast, lunch and dinner. And then at 10 o'clock at night they left out anything that hadn't been eaten earlier on for people to help themselves. The crew, most of the crew just sat in this walkway we've gone through to eat their food. There wasn't enough room for all of the crew to be able to. And you would, if what was in here was light, you'd put some weight in by crushing cans or whatever to get some extra weight, and you push them out to the seabed, and The reason for doing this is, if you just put the stuff out loose, it'll float up to the surface. And if you're flying over the area and you saw all the stuff floating around on the surface, say a helicopter or an aircraft, and no sign of a ship, you'd have to get that bright to work out. This is probably a deterrent system for the Cold War, which where you would just sort of saying, well, I've got a big club and I can hurt you if we get into a stoush. But in these modern ones, they could actually cause a nuclear winter, which is scary stuff. Right, and in this wardroom, if you pivot round to the left, you'll see a very young Queen Elizabeth and Duke of Edinburgh. The photographs are dated 1970s, so that shows the era of this submarine.
Okay.
So if you pivot around to the left, you'll see that. And if you pivot around the other way, you'll see a very old-fashioned computer in there as well. So the officers would be in there working with this very old-fashioned computer, working out the usage of fuel, provisions, whatever. So people don't carry stuff off.
So there's so many bottles here, I would be lost.
What was that?
There's so many bottles and wires, I would be lost here.
Yeah. Not this great splash of light, and that would be always in the position where the vessel is. So you change the chart to where you are and make sure that dot of light reflects where you are. So you always knew. The captain could come across and look at the chart. The navigation officer work at you know exactly where you are. It's to smother a fire. Just take away the oxygen. No oxygen, no fire. You want to see what the mechanism looks like? There it is. This says here that these were manufactured in Birkenhead to an amber design. So it's got an engine number on it. Temperature here was recorded up there. You can see just how hot it is. Got in here. I guess two scribbles on the stand in plain sight. And we've also got the last of the oxygen candles, and here we have the real oxygen candle in its canister, and if you want to feel the weight of that, you're more than welcome to do that.
Então galera, esse foi o vídeo sobre Oberon Class Submarine, e no próximo vídeo eu vou mostrar algumas imagens da excursão que eu fiz sobre observação de baleias no porto de Hillers. Então fique ligado aí e até a próxima!